for improving energy performance. My name is Maddie, and I'm an implementation support contractor for the Energy Star Commercial and Industrial Buildings program. Thanks to all for joining us for this third webinar in our three-part series on the role of EPA's Energy Star Portfolio Manager tool in facilitating successful benchmarking law compliance. I think, Annie, if you could give me or switch over the slides, would be great. I will just go over while you're doing that the poll results. It looks like we have a mix of folks who attended the second part of this three-part series. And then we also have a mix of folks who have one or multiple properties. So I'm glad we have a variety of people on here. I'll try to tailor this to all of your needs, but this goal of today is to kind of give you a couple of concrete steps to move forward with your energy management plans. So moving right along, you can access all of the webinars through the URL on the slide here. And just as an FYI, you will have access to all of the URLs on the slides, and the slides will be sent out after the webinar. And I think Annie just sent them in the chat, so thank you for doing that. So last month we focused on how to review and make sense of benchmarking results in our part 2. Today in part 3, we'll focus on developing an energy management plan and some of those concrete actions that you can do right now. So if you're already familiar with energy management and energy efficiency, this presentation may feel a bit familiar to you. Today's session is really geared towards folks who are just getting started with energy management and have limited or no experience in implementing those energy savings projects at their building. So we don't have a huge number of learning objectives today, but the two that we do have are pretty substantial in content. We'll try to wrap up around 2 and then move on to a question and answer session. So first, we're going to talk about recommendations for developing an energy management action plan. When we say action plan, sometimes it can be really intense or complex. Today, we're really going to be focusing on something that is simple, oriented towards getting your plan on paper so that you can identify those concrete actions that you can take in a specific order. Then we'll talk about ways to identify opportunities for low and no cost energy savings, and then the steps you can take to put those opportunities into practice, moving from identification into implementation. If you joined our part 2 session in April, you may remember this diagram from before. To navigate it, if you are attending the series because you are required to benchmark via a state or local ordinance, you're likely at the top of the funnel here where the green arrow is pointing. This is where you are if you've just started benchmarking to comply with that local law or state law. In many cases, compliance with state or local benchmarking law is focused on just the first step right here, the benchmarking. And that is extremely important. But as we discussed in previous webinars, benchmarking itself is not what is going to save energy at your building. It's really what you do with that information, the data that you collect through the benchmarking process. And then through the strategic approach to energy management, that is when you're turning into meaningful action. So that's really what we're going to focus on today. Today's session, we're going to move into the donut of the diagram, where we will focus mostly on this first box, creating an action plan. We're going to touch on the others as well, but most of what we'll focus on is that first box. Just to dissect the diagram a little, the bottom half is where you would be once you begin to create and implement your action plan. One thing we like to emphasize here is continuous improvement. So you see the arrow at the end of the diagram kind of looping around. It's not really a one and done type of process. It's not linear. It is around a circle. So the idea here is to assess your performance, reevaluate it, and then set new goals for your next action plan. So once you've completed the steps in parts 1 and 2 of this webinar series, then you're probably here. Today's session is going to dive into the basics of developing your energy management plan and some low and no cost actions that you could take today to start saving energy, money, and reducing your building's carbon footprint. But big question, who's going to make your plan? Everyone in your organization makes decisions that impact your energy use in small and big ways depending on their job. Whether it's remembering to turn on the lights or turn the lights off when you leave a conference room or classroom, how much water you use, and putting your computer to sleep when you go home for the day. An energy team would help to integrate energy management into your day-to-day activities and across all of the departments in your organization. Um, I will just note the size of the energy team will vary depending on the size of your organization. And it's great to take a team approach to the extent that you can. But if your organization is small and just has 1 or 2 people focusing on energy management, that can still be a pretty effective route to take to help you meet your goals. So as you begin to pull together your team, there are going to be 4 preliminary team decisions that you'll want to take a look at. So the first question is, how are you going to collect and track your data? Well, that's kind of been the focus of the past 2 sessions in this webinar series. We focused a lot on using Portfolio Manager as a tool to track that building data. And then we also talked about the methods for data collection and ways to interpret the information that you can extract from the tool. So making sure you have a standardized process for collecting your data is pretty important. And you'll want to think past just making sure your energy bills get updated every month and consider other building changes. How will you update property use attributes over time? Maybe they're changing to market or operational conditions, and it's important to consider that. So nailing down the specific approaches and tools that you will use to track your data, that's just the first step. The next question you'll want to discuss with your team is what baseline period you're going to use. So really, what is the period of time that you are going to use to compare your performance moving forward with? In part 2 of this series, just as a reminder, we did talk about setting goals and baselines. So in Portfolio Manager, there are different baselines you can set. Some organizations may want to go back to a year of historical data, uh, or a year that has a historical significance within the company. Maybe that is the first year for which you actually have complete energy data for your building. Others, you may want to set the baseline as the last 12 months period before a major energy retrofit, for example. And that's all to say it's important to have a good sense of what you are comparing your current performance against. And then thirdly, you'll want to ask what key performance indicators you are going to use to track your progress. So Portfolio Manager has hundreds of metrics and allows you to calculate those metrics. They range from Energy Star score to energy use intensity or EUI, total costs, greenhouse gas metrics, water and waste. There's a lot of metrics to choose from to establish your key performance indicators or KPIs. For folks who are benchmarking multiple buildings, this number 4 here, you do have the option to either set property level goals or portfolio wide goals. We go over that a little bit in our Portfolio Manager 301 webinar. And then there's always the question of which building or buildings that you want to prioritize. Right, in last month's session, we talked about using energy use intensity as a means of comparing similar buildings in a small local portfolio to identify both the outliers and the superior performers. So that information could also be used to prioritize which buildings get the most attention. In terms of prioritization, I did want to just highlight some considerations that you could take, and this is primarily for folks with multiple buildings. Um, so if you have a larger portfolio and limited resources, you won't be able to make energy upgrades to every single one of your buildings, right? So you're going to have to decide where to start, which portfolio manager can help you do. It allows you to rank your building's performance according to whatever criteria you wish. And then from there, you can try and identify which building or buildings you are going to work on. There are different approaches to prioritization. You could focus on buildings with a low Energy Star score, or you could focus on buildings that have stagnant Energy Star scores, where prior efforts to kind of push that needle a little forward just haven't been working. Another option, you could look into buildings with lots of mechanical issues, or perhaps one building might be getting more occupant complaints. You can really use a variety of criteria and weigh them differently depending on what your needs are. So with our first 10 minutes, we've covered the scoping phase, which if you've attended parts 1 and 2 should have been a little more of a review. So our next section will get a little bit more into the details. To break up the sections, we do have a little quick quiz question. This isn't a poll, just a little nugget to get your brains moving. Feel free to write your answer on a piece of paper or just have it ready. A decision that an energy management team needs to make when they first start scoping their portfolio of buildings is the metrics you choose to track your progress, the type of HVAC system you're going to install, the buildings that you'll set for your energy improvements, or how you will collect and store your data. Think on that for a moment while I grab a quick sip of water. So which of these is not a decision that your energy management team would make? All right, so if you were thinking that the answer was B, that's good. The type of HVAC system that you're going to install at your property, that can be an important decision once you've developed your plan, and that is a step that needs to be taken. But at the very outset of your process, the very beginning, when you were just beginning to develop a plan, items A, C, and D would be those front-end considerations. Specific considerations about the equipment and retrofits, you will make those further down the line. So let's move on to the next section now that you're paying attention. Now that you've selected your first building, it is time to get started. Let's say you've got your energy team together, you've got your benchmarking results along with whatever additional data sources you've used to prioritize your building portfolio. You've identified one or more buildings that you want to start with. Okay, so EPA recommends a staged approach to your energy management process. So this here on the slide is sort of the guiding structure from the Energy Star Building Manual, which you can access by clicking the link on slide 12 here if you're following along. The text should just be hyperlinked if you hover over it. So there are definitely variations of this approach that might order the steps slightly differently or name them differently, but this diagram is one example that has been shown to be effective. The staged approach accounts for interactions among the energy flows in your building that are associated with each stage. So with this approach, each stage includes changes that will increase the energy savings from upgrades performed in subsequent stages. So you can kind of think of it as an additive process almost. With each step, you are building on what you have already done, and that creates positive spillover effects for energy savings. You're kind of trying to set up a process that will maximize your energy and also your cost savings. What you're really doing when it's all boiled down is right-sizing your building. you're focusing on eliminating energy waste so that you have a good sense of the actual energy consumption required to operate your building in a safe and comfortable manner. And then later down the road, when it comes to time to implement those capital upgrades, like new air distribution system upgrades or even replacing your chiller or boiler, I those are bigger retrofits, but when it comes time to decide on what equipment you're going to purchase, it's better to buy a piece of equipment that is correctly sized to your building, right? So if you haven't taken those steps to reduce your energy waste, then you may find later down the line that you're going to be installing systems that are too big for what your building needs. So this staged approach to energy management is intended to kind of get the most bang for your buck from those early stages of reducing energy waste through low and no cost operations and maintenance, and then using that as a foundation upon which you build all of your subsequent energy management activities. So since today's presentation is focused on low and no cost improvements, we're going to focus on the first two steps of the process here, operations and maintenance, and then after that, lighting upgrades. So over the years, the EPA has found that operations and maintenance can deliver 10 to 30% in annual energy savings through these low or no cost opportunities. And so there's a lot of progress you can make and a lot of money you can save just through doing these steps. Today, we're really looking at ways you can start to make progress towards energy and cost savings before those larger capital projects. So let's start with operations and maintenance, or O&M. Improving operations and maintenance of your building often starts with an energy assessment. Certainly, it's not absolutely necessary to do an energy assessment. There are plenty of best practices. You know, we have checklists and guidelines. Some of these are available through Energy Star itself, and we do have links to these at the end of the presentation. We have basics. There are basics like cleaning your light fixtures so that light can get through, right? Changing out your filters, things like that. But getting down to the basics into the nitty gritty can really have an impact on your energy's performance. And it really doesn't need an assessment to get there. That said, focused assessments on building energy performance can be really useful for uncovering a lot of those O&M opportunities. Benchmarking and generating an Energy Star score or energy use intensity, for example, for your building, that would be the first step in the assessment process. So if you've already done that, then you've already started that process. But if you can think of that Energy Star score or the EUI, whichever one you're using, almost like a check engine light in a car, it gives you information about something that's going on, but it doesn't necessarily tell you why. So a low Energy Star score, if that is the check engine light, then the energy assessment would be taking your car into the shop, you know, popping the hood and really digging in to see what's going on. So if you want to dig into your score and find some ways to improve it, there are several ways you can conduct an energy assessment, each of which requires kind of different levels of expertise, staffing, financial resources, all that good stuff. So for the next section, we're going to stay in the realm of items one and two on this slide. And these are just the low and no cost items. So the informal walkthrough and the Energy Star energy treasure hunt. So an informal walkthrough is getting the facilities and engineering staff within your organization to really just walk through the building and take a focused look at all building systems to see if any clear instances could be identified where things are not operating as they should, and to see if there are any quick items that can be resolved. We want to highlight in green here the energy treasure hunts. They are a great opportunity to identify no cost and low cost quick fixes with a pretty short payback period. The benefits of the treasure hunt is you have engagement with employees and other building staff that can be driven through this treasure hunt approach. Energy Star partners who have used energy treasure hunts have been able to reduce their facilities energy use by up to 15%. So let's get into that as it is significant. What is an energy treasure hunt? So treasure hunts focus on identifying low or no cost quick fixes. So these are typically the ones that have a short payback period. The goal here would be to identify a number of improvements that can be made immediately and without significant expenditures or capital investments. What really makes a treasure hunt special compared to informal walkthroughs or other mechanisms is that they focus on engaging staff and employees, although they certainly could be supplemented with outside experts or consultants if you prefer that. They're really intended to strike a positive, optimistic tone, so focusing on the positive outcomes and improvements on those day-to-day building operations. They treasure hunts can engage senior management or financial makers and then get them involved to ensure that ideas identified during that treasure hunt actually can get implemented. And then finally, as a result of an energy treasure hunt, it is a great way to kickstart the development of an energy action plan. So through the process of undertaking this treasure hunt, you're going to do a lot of the work already regarding laying out your plan for next steps to improve the energy performance of your building. And if you want more information, we do have a landing page for all things energy treasure hunts located on slide 17 if you're following along. It's just linked at the bottom with the URL. So a bit more on treasure hunts. From what we just showed, you may be thinking that it sounds a lot, that treasure hunts might sound pretty similar to energy audits. In some ways, they're not all that different. You know, they both involve identifying specific actions that can be taken at your building to improve energy and performance. But what really makes it stand out about treasure hunts, what makes them more effective than traditional energy assessments and audits is kind of the positive tone that it sets. A lot of times they can be a bit less threatening to employees, you know? So if an outsider comes to an organization for an energy audit and says, I am here to assess you, it could be potentially intimidating to folks. And that could lead subsequently to people not being willing to share ideas or think outside the box for those energy improvements. So in many ways, these treasure hunts are engaged around kind of rebranding the work that energy managers do day in and day out, but by focusing on those positive outcomes as opposed to searching for problems. The goal, you know, of any treasure hunt is to find treasure. So in this case, the treasure is those O&M opportunities, behavioral opportunities, low cost opportunities that can deliver you those quick wins. So we do want to recognize that this may sound like a difficult undertaking in a hybrid work scenario. You know, after the COVID pandemic, folks might be just now getting into the office. And even now, not everyone might be in the office at the same time. And we do know that a lot of people have kind of returned to this hybrid approach. So actually, most of the steps for the treasure hunt can be performed virtually or remotely. The actual building walkthrough is important, but it is just one step in the process. And as part of these treasure hunts, you can certainly get a lot of people involved virtually, even if they don't visit the physical building. Even for the building walkthrough, for example, you could have like a few people on the site and then a number of other folks who might be following along live. You know, in the age of phones and technology, someone can pull out a phone, Zoom or Teams, what have you, and broadcast it out to the rest of the team. So we do have options here. And we do have some strategies for meeting virtually. We don't need to go into great detail on that. I know Many of us might be Zoom experts at this point, whether we like it or not. But we did want to remind you that there are steps that can be taken remotely. So, for example, if you had access to building management system data, perhaps there's an opportunity for virtual treasure hunting. You can really focus and target on-site activities if there's maybe 1 week a month when staff are required to be in the building, or you simply pick the week when the greatest number of potential participants are going to be in. And that would be how you organize your treasure hunt, right? So in fact, the treasure hunts could be used as a welcome back activity if you're just moving back to in-person work. It could be, a fun activity for getting different groups together as part of that hybrid work environment where people might only see each other a few times a week. So all of that is to say that in this kind of new era of remote and hybrid work, yes, it may be a little bit harder to get folks together for the actual treasure hunt, but it is by no means impossible. And we do have, thanks to COVID, a lot of creative solutions out there. So really the important thing here is that treasure hunts can be performed for any commercial building types. EPA does have published a series of property type specific pressure maps, including the sectors that are shown here on the screen. Again, we have a link at the bottom there. If your building does not fall into one of the categories included by these top line bullets, we do have a general treasure map that is applicable for all other commercial buildings. And depending on your property type, the map will have specific examples of things to look out for within your building. So this here on the slide is an example of what you might find in one of these treasure maps. This one would be for multifamily properties. And even if you're not planning to do a formal treasure hunt, I do recommend checking out your properties map. They do kind of provide a great hit list of things that you can go through and look for in your building. Even if you decide to do an informal walkthrough, this guide can still be a pretty great help. Now on the treasure hunt section of the Energy Star website, again, the link is on this previous slide. There's another number of resources there, including not just the treasure maps, but also data collection worksheets and other resources. Some of those resources also include a number of mini case studies. So there is an option for organizations that have implemented treasure hunts to actually report back to EPA what their experience was like, and if applicable, what their savings were. So we just pulled out a small handful here to review. This is by no means meant to be broadly representative, but rather indicative of the sorts of things that can be found within the treasure hunts. So this first example here is Amley Residential, which is a multifamily property organization. They undertook a treasure hunt at one property, and you can see that they formed a team of 5 people. And the top opportunities that they identified involved checking and correcting temperature set points, insulating their water pipes, and activating power management settings in their business center and in their leasing office. You can see here those were small savings, but pretty simple to implement. So, $8,000 in savings is probably not a huge deal when you consider the operating expenses associated with a multifamily property. But, at the same time, if someone left $8,000 to $10,000 lying on the ground, I think all of us would pick it up. So the idea here is that these O&M opportunities can be really implemented, and there may be money left there just for the taking. We have a similar example next with the Bozzuto Management Company. This case study was in an office property. So in this case, there were 10 folks on the treasure hunt team, and in addition to the O&M opportunities like standardizing thermostat settings, they also looked into lighting controls and sensors a little bit. So that's not technically O&M, but as we'll talk about in a few moments, lighting is a very secure and predictable payback. So it is often one of the first places that folks do go after they have handled their O&M opportunities. So in this case, there's the installation of lighting controls and sensors, as well as targeted LED retrofits. The outcome with them was about $10,000 in savings for a single building, which is pretty significant. So our final example here in our case studies, we have a high school, Sherwood High School. You can see that the treasure hunt team was a little bit bigger at 24 people compared to 10 and 5 on the previous case studies. Especially in these K-12 settings, treasure hunts can be great opportunities for getting together not just the building staff, but also students. So there's educational opportunities, for them to learn energy management practices. When we talk about those O&M savings, they are pretty simple, turning off classroom lights when you're not using them, keeping classroom doors closed when classes are going on to keep the classrooms air conditioned, adding occupancy sensors where they're appropriate, putting timers on TVs, turning off any smart boards in the classrooms if they're not being used. And again, the more people you have on your treasure hunt team, and especially the more folks who come from outside of a formal energy background, the greater the opportunity that you're going to identify cool, new creative ideas that might not have otherwise been apparent. Okay, so to summarize those case studies, why do we think energy treasure hunts are important? Well, it's really because there are a lot of opportunities for energy savings, as well as cost savings and greenhouse gas emission savings that can be realized through a fairly low lift approach. And they can actually be fun for all involved. It's kind of a win-win. You identify low cost energy savings opportunities and you generate involvement from multiple groups within your buildings. The outcomes from a treasure hunt are going to be important for helping you scope out your energy management plan moving forward. So before we close out this section, I did want to acknowledge just these other energy assessment options. You may be wondering, well, why aren't we talking about those? And those include formal retrofit, retro commissioning or recommissioning, which is really focused on identifying where building systems have gotten out of sync over time and how they can be brought back to operation as intended. And also so that different building systems are not contradicting one another. Retro commissioning is often focused on operations and maintenance, although not necessarily exclusively, but that's really the focus, is how to get the building operating as it should. And we also have the ASHRAE level 2 or 3 energy audits. These are assessments that often may include low and no cost energy control measures, but they're really intended to identify and prioritize those capital expenditures. So in both cases, retro commissioning and energy auditing, these assessments are going to be provided by third parties. And this is kind of where the technical assistance that Energy Star offers ends and where the market solutions begin. Because the Energy Star program itself cannot come out and perform energy audit retro commissioning studies at your building. So that being said, we do have quite a bit of resources out there in the marketplace to help you do this. And the first would be to reach out to your local utility. So most utilities have technical assistance resources to help you identify trusted contractors in your local area that will typically have financial resources, either incentives or rebates that can help building owners to get these energy assessments in the first place. We also encourage reaching out to an Energy Star service and product provider or a category of Energy Star partners that have demonstrated that they are using Energy Star tools and resources, specifically Portfolio Manager, to help their customers achieve energy savings. Most utilities offer resources to help you identify a contractor who can perform the services that you are in fact interested in, and many utilities offer incentives for audits and retro commissioning. So we certainly will encourage you to take a look at our list of Energy Star service and product providers to see if their offerings are in line with what you are looking for. The link to this site can be found at the end of the presentation, where we do have a list of useful links that we've gone over. So this list focuses mainly on the providers who are helping their customers to benchmark. But again, this would just be the starting point. Their list of services are well beyond that. And if you are a service provider who wants to be added to the list, the way to do that is to benchmark. So again, treasure hunts are things that can typically be organized and implemented internally. When we start talking about more detailed assessments like those retro commissioning or audits, that's when we really start talking about needing to reach out to other market actors, and the service and product provider list can be a great resource to identify both the companies that can do this work, but also any incentives or rebates that may be available to help you pay for that work. Okay, so now that we've kind of covered that first step, operations and maintenance, we'll move on to the next step, building off of it, which is those lighting upgrades. So these are among the most common, quote unquote, low-hanging fruit when it comes to energy management. I do just want to preface that, yes, a large-scale comprehensive lighting upgrade will cost money. So we wouldn't call lighting upgrades no cost, and depending on the scale, they might not even be low cost. That being said, lighting still is often the first step that many folks take when they want to address the energy performance of their building. Just because compared to other large building systems, those lighting projects are relatively inexpensive and they're easy to implement. So, and they also provide a quick and reliable return on investment. So lighting retrofits have been happening for a bit of a long time, and there's some understanding and validation of that cost benefit of lighting upgrades. So in the world of energy efficiency improvements, it is likely that a lighting upgrade is going to be pretty palatable for your decision makers, even if they don't know a lot about energy efficiency. And since lighting is a tried and true strategy, we do want to just touch on a couple of ideas to take a look at the options that are available to your building in terms of lighting upgrades. And that is when you want to reach out to a utility or vendor in the market to really understand the savings potential in your building. So we have a few tips for a successful lighting upgrade project. First is to always start with your local utility. So similar to those O&M incentives, many utilities still offer LED lighting incentives and rebates. Some utilities in progressive or aggressive states in terms of pursuing energy reductions might see lighting rebates start to dial down over time, just because the utility might decide that if everyone's doing it, then they don't need to incentivize it anymore. That might be the case in a few states now, but generally, utilities are going to have lighting incentives available that you can take advantage of. You can also use the Energy Star rebate finder to identify rebates available for energy saving light bulbs based on your location. And there's a pretty extensive product finder that you can help to dial in on specific models of products that have our Energy Star label. So as you get started with lighting retrofits, these are pretty basic recommendations, but if it helps even just one person on this call, then they are worthwhile. So if your lighting is still working on older fluorescent systems, for example, there's opportunity right there. It'd be a good choice for you to look for higher efficiency fluorescent or newer technologies to replace some of those fluorescents. At the same time, if you have recently made the transition from incandescent lighting to CFL lighting, maybe it's time to look at new technology that can achieve further savings beyond what you've already achieved with the CFL. That might be low-hanging fruit, or that might not even be applicable for a lot of the folks here, but again, it is still worth calling out. Another great opportunity that you could consider is exit signs. So you may not be using incandescent exit signs anymore. You may have already moved on from incandescent to CFL at some point in the past, but it is always a good time to look at the opportunity to further improve your energy savings through exit signs. And then finally, another option is to install occupancy sensors to automatically turn off lights when no one is present and then turn them back on when people return. Occupancy sensors can save between 15 and 30% on lighting costs. So you can start with low occupancy areas of your building, like maybe conference rooms, storage closets, those kinds of things. And you'll want to keep in mind that even good equipment can be installed incorrectly. So make sure not to install the sensor behind a coat rack, door, bookcase, those kinds of things. You want to be able to see an approaching, it should be able to see the approaching person to track the motion and then turn on the light as they enter that room. So given those tips for lighting projects, now let's say it's time to actually make your energy management plan. So we focused a lot in this session on treasure hunts because they are a really valuable framework for identifying energy savings opportunities, and especially those that are related to operations and maintenance. And we also talked briefly about lighting. But say that you've gone through your treasure hunt and you have identified a long list of smaller items that you want to begin implementing, as well as perhaps some bigger ticket items that you're not going to be able to do this year, but you want to have them on the radar for future years. So how would we start developing that energy management plan? So again, just to reiterate, this is going to be less of a working session on developing your energy management plan from, steps A through Z, but rather kind of a set of high-level considerations you'll want to keep in mind as you start this process. So starting with number one, again, you'll want to start small. Like we discussed with that staged approach to energy management, you really want to start by focusing on those low and no cost O&M measures and lighting upgrades first. Maybe the first version of your plan only includes these steps, and that would be perfectly fine. Creating a plan to get these things gone is a great first step. You certainly want to focus on optimizing the operations of your current building systems before looking into those capital intensive upgrades. And do remember, you don't want to start spending money on new equipment if you still haven't right-sized your building's energy requirements through more basic measures. You also, timelines and aligning your goals with time horizons is an important step to consider as well. So some big questions that you may want to ask yourself are, what can you do in the current budget cycle this year? What do you want to do in the next cycle, next year? And then consider what you'll want to achieve in the long term or the next 3 to 5 years. Maybe that's where the large capital projects come in. It'll be different for everyone. Setting those property portfolio-wide goals for energy performance, really the important thing here is that by starting small and with those low cost or no cost quick wins, we have found, time and time again that this is a great way to generate buy-in from your senior management and decision makers around energy efficiency. And lastly, you'll want to develop a process where you are continuously evaluating and reevaluating your process and goals. It's not just one and done, right? If you remember the circular diagram from the beginning, which I'll bring up here, yeah, we always want to be reevaluating and correcting our goals. And it does have this feedback loop. The idea is that as you work through your action plan, it is always important to continuously benchmark your building to understand how your building's performance is or isn't improving. Because if you're not seeing the results that you expected, then it's time, to troubleshoot and ask what didn't happen. This continuous improvement approach does recognize that there's always more savings to be found. And even with a top of the line building, things may start to fall out of time. Taking this continuous improvement approach makes it more likely that you're going to find and address those issues as they pop up so that you can maintain, not just achieve high building performance over time. So with all of that said, we are hoping that you are all excited to go out and start pulling together an energy management plan for your property or your portfolio of properties. The whole point of this training was really to show that getting started with energy management does not have to be scary. It doesn't have to be expensive. There are things you can do right now to get started. And really, you can make a lot of progress between, you know, right now and June of next year. For those of you facing benchmarking ordinances that have reporting deadlines coming up soon, it's important to think of that reporting deadline as kind of a jumping off point. So whatever your building's energy use intensity or your Energy Star score is this year, that's just a starting point. The question would be between now and this time next year, what can you do? How can you move your needle to show that your building has improved its energy performance, its cost performance, its greenhouse gas performance year after year after year? Because at the end of the day, this is what we are looking to do. And that's what these benchmarking policies really are seeking to do to drive improvement, right? So with that in mind, we just want to give you these few small challenges to move as you move forward. So after we hop off today, we would love for you to take the time to write down just a broad outline of your energy management plan for the coming year, especially if you don't already have one. It doesn't need to be big, it doesn't need to be complex, just a few ideas that you have. And as part of that plan, see if you can identify one or maybe more specific activities that you would like to commit to achieving over the course of the next year. And depending on where your building is now and what you've done in the past, these could look different for everyone. Um, so as we wrap up, for those of you who have attended last month's training, you know that there is a suite of resources within Portfolio Manager to help you analyze your progress and performance over time. Probably the most powerful item there is the ability to define your own custom reporting template and use that to report on key metrics over time. If you want a step-by-step demonstration of that, we do go over how to do that in Portfolio Manager 301, and all of our live webinars are linked in a few slides at the end of the webinar. So if you do feel so inclined, we would love to hear from you in the chat window about one goal you think is reasonable and achievable in the next year, whether that's developing an energy management plan, designing and carrying out a treasure hunt, maybe doing a more comprehensive assessment like an audit, performing a lighting retrofit, whatever it may be. If you do feel comfortable indicating what you'd like to do to get started, we would love to hear from you in the chat window. Nice, and I'm already seeing stuff come in, so thank you for being brave and putting those out there. I see treasure hunts are a big one, so yeah, we highly encourage you to do those. I'm glad to see people are excited for it. So as we close out the session, we do, again, as I had alluded to in previous slides, we do have this list of URLs that you can easily click into. These are not the only resources available from the Energy Star program that are related to energy management. However, these do provide some good jumping off points as they refer back to specific items that we have been discussing in the past 50 minutes. And then in addition to the specific resources from this training, we also want to highlight some other Energy Star program resources that can help you navigate the kind of world of improving energy performance. These ones are linked, so you should be able to just click right through to the resources that are highlighted in blue on the slide. And then real quick, as we've talked about in prior sessions, folks on this webinar are probably here for a variety of reasons, right? Generally speaking, though, we expect that you're here because you're being required to benchmark as part of a state or local jurisdiction. And we want to remind you that if you do have any questions about Portfolio Manager or our suite of Energy Star tools and resources, you can feel free to submit those questions to Energy Star via our benchmarking help desk. If you have questions specifically about the requirements of your state or local jurisdiction's ordinance, those are questions best directed to the state or local entity who is actually administering that ordinance. We do have a list on the slide here, basically a summary of the compliance-specific resources covered during today's training. These were also on sessions 1 and 2, but we just wanted to make sure you have it here as well. I just want to highlight the first resource on this slide is a video that condenses the mechanics of complying with your state and local benchmarking into an informative 15-minute video. And then the second half of these resources include a list of contacts and general links to help you contact your local jurisdiction if you have any questions about the topics that we covered today. And lastly, Energy Star has published a series of frequently asked questions that are specific to complying with state and local benchmarking requirements. There's a very good chance that somebody else has had the same question that you have, and we'd like to capture those responses. So if you have any questions related to Portfolio Manager and submitting your data, this is a great place to start. If you don't see your question already listed and answered here, this URL on the page can also direct you to our help desk where someone from our team can work with you individually on your question. So we hope that you enjoyed today's webinar, and we have recorded each webinar in this 3-part series. If you'd like to watch them back over, you can access them by going to the link on the slide here on slide 43. That page also has some common FAQs condensed into a singular PDF document. Those are the FAQs that we've received during the webinar series, so feel free to check those out as well. And I believe that takes us to the end of our webinar. Thank you all for attending. We will move to our Q&A session in a few moments. I will just say, if you have to hop off before then, a little questionnaire will pop up on in your browser or on your screen when you exit. We ask that you fill that out as we do use your feedback to, continuously improve our webinars here at Energy Star. So we'd appreciate if you could fill that out. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water, look at the questions, and we'll get started in just a minute.